Hi guys, welcome back to the Stage 4 Mo. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody that has gave me so much love and support on this podcast. I am so grateful for that. Second of all, I would just like to tell you that there's a lot of things that I've missed out in the first part, so I probably will need to revisit that. And also, Paul says that he wants to tell his side of the story, considering that I said they went missing, which he did. So anyway, let's go back to the second time I was diagnosed. I'm just going to jump straight in. So the second time I was diagnosed, these dates are going to have significance. So on the 20th of December 2021, I had an appointment with a consultant who basically told me the cancer was gone, which was music to our ears. It'd been a hard year for us. We'd just had Indy. It just tainted a lot that year. It was like your life pauses, and people that have went through this will completely understand what I mean by that. So we were told the cancer was gone, which was fantastic. In the March of 2022, I had experienced some symptoms of things that I was told to watch out for. So I spoke to my consultant and she got me in for an MRI scan. The MRI scan apparently showed nothing. Everything was fine. In the meantime, I was getting internal examinations to determine whether the cancer was back or not. No scans other than that scan that I pushed for because I had symptoms, which obviously isn't ideal. Then comes October 2022, we are at a family holiday at a caravan site with my family, and I fall and break my leg. I had an appointment with my consultant on the Monday, so we were just heading to see her on the way back from the caravan. But I broke my leg while I was there and was in a moon boot. When I went to see the consultant, she said, I can't give you your internal exam because it wouldn't look like it won't be your show. She says, I'll just send you for an MRI scan and everything will be fine. So that was fine. So then, fast forward to me getting the MRI scan in November. Then, the 20th of December 2022 comes along and I get a phone call from my cancer nurse. The cancer nurse phoned and asked if I could come in on the 29th of December. So I then said, okay, I'll come. I went and I says to Paul, as soon as I got off the phone, I started shaking and I says to him, my consultant is letting me have Christmas and then they're going to tell me something. And he's like, don't be daft, it's nothing like that. I says, no, I know that she'd have told me if everything was okay over the phone. She's done it before. It doesn't make sense. Obviously my head went into a bit of a spin. Me and Paul decided at that point, because we had 5 days to Christmas, not to tell anybody and just leave it. I think I did tell my sister-in-law though, but I didn't want to tell my mum and dad or my older girls because they were actually going on holiday with my mum and dad on the 29th of December, which is why I knew it was the 29th of December that was the date. So I knew that they would be away, they wouldn't have to deal with anything, nobody would need to know until I knew what was going on. But deep down I knew exactly what was going on. I then went to the appointment on the 29th of December and the first thing my doctor said to me was, I wanted to let you get Christmas over and done with and then get you in because there's been significant changes in your MRI. I knew then and there that the cancer was back. Obviously, they sent me straight for a CT scan that day and then was told I would have to go in for biopsies. My mum and dad came back the holiday and I told them what was going on. I tried to forget about things. My mum and dad were a bit like, oh my God, everything will be fine. And then when I was telling people, my appointment wasn't until the end of January for the biopsies, so everybody assumed that meant everything was fine. I actually didn't. It didn't mean nothing. So, I got a phone call on the 10th of January to say, could you please come in tomorrow for these biopsies? We need to see you now. And that was obviously they'd got the results from the CT scan back and it had showed that the cancer was back. So they didn't tell me this on the phone, but I knew it was happening. Went for the biopsies, had the biopsies done, then got sent for a PET scan. Again, it was pretty quick getting that. I remember it was a Monday for the PET scan. I think it was the 30th of January, I think. And then I phoned my doctor and I was like, surely these biopsy results are back. She said, they aren't actually, but can I get you to come in on Thursday? And I said, aye, that's fine. So Thursday comes, Paul had an appointment. Paul has a wee bit of a health condition as well. He needs to get treatment for his blood, which is actually a cancer treatment as well. So he had that scheduled for the Thursday that I was getting my results. He had phoned and tried to cancel it, but he hadn't heard anything back. So he went to his appointment. But when he got there, the woman was like, oh, you're not meant to be here today. Which obviously was a good thing, because I think I would have had to have went to that appointment myself, because my auntie was taking me and Indy was there. So she was watching Indy for me and I was going into the appointment. So it actually all worked out so well that Paul was there. So we went to the appointment and I had my COVID mask on, because again it was kind of COVID type. Well, it wasn't actually COVID, it was kind of getting the end of COVID, but still had to wear your mask in the hospitals. So I had my mask on, and because I remember that specifically, because when she told me, I started I was calm, but I was like, oh, can I take my mask off? I remember that being like, and she's like, take it off, just take it off. So I took it off, and obviously she was saying at this time, I should say that this cancer was back. Her words were, I'd lit up in several different areas during the PET scan, which means that the cancer was there in several different areas. So she went through that, and at the time I'm just like, right, so chemo and that's it, and then Paul went, you're telling us that this isn't going to go away, aren't you? And she went, aye, she said, yeah, that's what we're saying. And at the time I didn't really take that in either. I was like, that doesn't mean nothing. So I'd obviously spoke to people, told people what was going on with the cancer and stuff. Didn't sleep for about 2 days. My auntie's friend had spoke to my auntie and says to my auntie, tell her to go to the doctors and get a DS 1500 form, which is a terminal illness form. I said, I didn't need that. But I phoned up my nurse because I'd noticed things on my paperwork that I had palliative care and stuff like that, and the DS 1500 form had came up. So I phoned my nurse and I says, I'm in palliative care, and she went, well, you're in palliative treatment, your treatment's prolonging your life, it's not going to cure you. So that was a wee bit of a blow as well. Then I says, I've been told to apply for this DS 1500 form, do I need that? And she's like, oh yes, you will get that, definitely, that will help you with so many things. And at the time I'm like, what? That was the biggest thing to me that actually clicked in, that this wasn't curable, was the fact that they told me that I needed this form. It was just a form, just a form, but this meant a big thing. So I got the form. I actually didn't have the form, to be fair, and I don't know if that's a thing that they don't give yet. They send it to the people that need sent to, because it might, I don't know why. I don't know if anybody has got it. I don't know if it's just me that I didn't have it. But so I then got rushed into treatment quite quick. I was in treatment within 2 weeks. Because I was officially diagnosed on the 2nd of February and my first treatment was the 13th of February, so very, very quickly. So I was getting 2 different types of chemo and 2 types of immunotherapy. So great, amazing, let's get this done. Like, still wasn't for 1 second thinking that this wasn't going to be curable. First treatment went okay. I was in for like 14 hours. It was horrendous. I remember coming home for that treatment and going to bed and like crying, like, and saying to Paul, why have I done this to myself again? Like, why am I putting myself through this? Like, have I not been through enough? Like, why? Like, I always said that if I had cancer again, I wouldn't take treatment because the treatment does make you ill. But I was kind of given no choice. Like, I've got 4 kids here. They need their mum. So it was like, no, you need the treatment. And I remember that night just crying, and I got sleeping tablets and that to help me sleep because I wasn't sleeping. Like, I was staying up all night. Obviously, it was a big shock. So I think probably that was as well. And you'll see me, I'm positive. Like, my mum and my brother and my sister-in-law, my dad, they all, like, the day that I phoned them, I'm telling you, like, they stopped what they were doing and came straight to me. Like, my brother finished work early, my sister-in-law finished work early. Everybody came, and I was just like, it's fine, like, it's not curable, but I'll be alright. Like, and I think that probably I held everybody else up because I was trying to be positive, but it was like, even like talking about it now is actually harder than what it was in that moment. But it's surreal. It's a surreal time in your life. As I say, I didn't have a choice. I was taking the treatment, and again, like, one day I'm going to go to an appointment and they're going to tell me, right, Dion, we need to start treatment again, or listen, there's nothing. Like, I don't want to say that there's nothing they can do, because that's not the vibe I'm giving out these days. I will be here for a long, long time yet. So wait, if I need to go back into treatment, I'll be there. I'll be at every single treatment to make sure that I can do the best for us and the kids. Because one thing that the cancer has done for me is made me look after myself. I eat healthier, I walk, I'm a different person. I feel like I've kind of jumped about on this podcast a bit today, but that's okay. It's no structured. When I was first diagnosed, I was very bitter, and a lot of folk didn't see that side to me, right? Because I had it. I was that person that was like, well, I've got cancer anyway. I'm dying anyway, which is a horrible thing to say, because I'm not. But I would say stuff like that. And to myself, to Paul heard it a lot. Poor Paul, like, he put up with a lot. And then I thought, that's not the right attitude to have. That's going to kill me itself, having that attitude. Being so negative is going to bring negativity. So that just changed the way I was thinking, changed the way I was eating, changed everything, and now I'm positive. And Paul agrees, if you're inviting negativity in, then that's not the right place to be when you're already having negative things in your life. So I've put a spin on it and I've put a positive on it, because I am now here telling my story to people, and hopefully it can help somebody. I would love that. I'd love it. Like, I will do an episode on, like, symptoms that I had that probably could have been picked up a wee bit earlier. So yeah, we will go through all that. And again, next time I think we will go into probably the treatment side of things. When obviously one of the first questions I asked when I was told was, will I lose my hair? And obviously yes, I would, and that's fine. I lost my hair. It wasn't the worst thing, trust me. But I remember how ill I was after the first treatment, and I says every symptom I was having was just like a symptom of cancer, a symptom of the treatment. So I decided I'm going to take matters into my own hands. I'm not letting my hair fall out. So one Thursday night, me and all the kids sat, they all cut a bit of my hair off and I shaved it. I've actually got a video on my TikTok of me shaving it. So I took back my power and decided that cancer wasn't dictating to me when my hair was falling out. I was doing it. And I got used to it. I didn't hate it, to be honest with you. I just dealt with it. There was days where I would wear a wig and I hated wearing a wig. I literally wore a wig a few times. I didn't wear a wig a lot because I didn't feel right in them. I wore my wee beanie hat things, didn't wear them that much. Eventually I just started just embracing it, and I would just walk about with no hair and it was fine. I didn't care, like it was me. And do you know, one of the biggest things that I worried about it wasn't about anything about what folks said. I was worried about making people feel uncomfortable. But then I was uncomfortable because I was wearing a hat and I was itchy and I was sweating, and you get chemo sweats and stuff like that, so it wasn't like the best. So definitely I thought, do you know what, like, who cares? I'm more who I am and I'm embracing it, and it was fine. And now I love my hair now. I think if it was now and they says to me, Dion, you need to lose your hair, I think I would feel a lot differently, because I didn't do nothing with my hair back then. So it didn't bother me too much about losing it. So no, so I think I'll end today here. It's not been a very long podcast, but I'm just giving everybody the backstories. If there is anything you would like me to talk about or ask or anything like that, please let me know. Again, thank you all for the most amazing love and support. Honestly, yous are amazing. Thank you.